Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another beautiful day down under in Australia, Western Australia to be precise, near Perth. So the other day I did a video about the culture shocks of coming to Australia from the UK, and it's pretty poor quality. It was on my phone, I was walking to work, and I was a bit all over the shop, bouncy. So I decided to redo it. So if you did watch that one, thanks for watching and persevering with it. I couldn't watch it myself, so hats off to you. This one's going to be a little bit better. Got my actual camera with me today rather than just using my phone. So yeah, let's get straight into it. The culture shocks of living in Australia. Now the first one's going to be an obvious one. Big culture shock was the heat, the weather, and at the moment the lack of heat. I know, surprise, it does actually get cold in Australia, believe it or not, especially if you're in the south. Not so much if you're up in the north parts, but it's about 6 degrees at the moment, so it's fairly chilly, and it gets pretty low overnight, sort of wherever you go. So everyone's got a fireplace here, and you know, it usually keeps the house pretty warm. I've got an air conditioning unit, which is like a reverse cycle one in our place. Not a big fan because it's in the kitchen and it takes a long time to warm up the house. Obviously, moving to Australia, you're going to expect it to be hot. The difference is there's different types of hot, and being from the UK, you'll know what I mean. 25 degrees in the UK feels like 40 away, so it does get like 36 to sort of 40 degrees in the summer, and yeah, it is hot, but it's bearable. Like, if you're in the shade, you don't really notice it that much. However, obviously you walk out into the actual sun and it feels like you're being cooked alive. Now the next thing is slang. Now slang is something that's big in the UK, and it's also quite big here in Australia. Surprise, probably everywhere across the world, I guess. But yeah, if someone says when you come to the beach, don't forget to bring your thongs, don't turn up in a G-string. It means flip-flops or sandals, however you might want to say it, but yeah, do not be turning up in a G-string to the beach. I mean, if you're a woman, well, you know, whatever. It's 2025. If you want to turn up in a G-string, turn up in a G-string, but me personally, I wouldn't. A lot of the slang words are pretty easy to pick up. For example, bottle-o just means basically the convenience store where they sell alcohol. Servo, services, pretty self-explanatory. In the arvo, which means in the afternoon. I just like putting O's on the end of things, which doesn't bother me. Yeah. Now the one that did catch me out was a friend said to me the other day, I've got a shit. And I was like, all right, well, you eating something dodgy the night before? No, it doesn't mean that. In the UK, that's what it means. In Australia, when someone says they've got the shits, it means that they're annoyed. So yeah, I found that one out the hard way. Now, one thing that you will find living in Australia is everyone seems very laid back. Now, in the UK, if you're not rushing and getting stuff done this instance, then some people would class you as lazy, but it's just a chilled way of life, and it's nice. Like, things get done just as efficiently. There just doesn't seem to be that manic rush, and like, I don't know, it's hard to describe really. It works, that's the main thing. So the next one, Aussie humour and banter. It's pretty good, I like it. It's pretty much similar to how I was back home with my friends, constantly taking the piss out of each other, just having a good laugh. So if you're quite a sensitive soul, then yeah, you might struggle. But obviously certain industries, if you're in quite a male dominated industry, then you'll probably be used to it and it won't be no drama. Now, one of the big shocks was supposed to be the price of food, the cost of living, but it's all kind of relevant, really. I mean, in terms of what you pay in the UK for your food and drinks, yeah, some things can be a little bit more expensive, but some things can be a little bit more cheaper, I suppose. But yeah, I was shocked that it wasn't actually that much of a difference. It seems like a lot because when you convert it, obviously it's 2 to 1, but when you actually do break it down and convert it, it's pretty much like for like with most things that you buy. With that said, beers do seem to be, or alcohol in general, does seem to be a little bit more expensive than it was back in the UK, but do you know what? The wages you're earning, you earn that little bit extra, it's not going to break the bank. Now, one of the biggest culture shocks, now this one doesn't really bother me so much, but for women, that's a bit sexist. For people that like shopping, let's go with that. Yeah, this one is a big one, especially for my missus. She can't get to grips with how early everything shuts. So if you're a coffee shop, 2 PM you're shut, and anywhere else, you know, pretty much the same time. Maybe the supermarkets will stay open, and that's about it. Or a hardware store will stay open till 5. But yeah, in the UK, we were so spoilt with the opening times of the shops. Literally, you could go to pretty much any shop you wanted and get anything you wanted till 10 o'clock at night. So yeah, that was quite a big shock, especially like there's a school uniform place and it was shut in the school holidays. I found that bizarre, but each to their own. I suppose they got to have their own holidays as well. Now, also one big culture shock can be that people here are too friendly. No, not too friendly. They're very friendly, and I like that. It's good. You'll be walking to work and people will just straight up say hello to you, and sometimes even stop for a chat, especially if they've got a dog. I mean, I know in the UK if they've got a dog it's kind of similar, but yeah, here it seems to be more often than not. Even if they don't have a dog, they'll be very friendly, polite, and sometimes even stop and have a little chat with you. Okay, so now the last thing we're going to hit on is bugs and critters. Now, it's kind of like seasonal here with bugs and critters. So, especially where I am, I mean, Australia is a vast country and obviously things will vary from place to place. But down here in the southwest, you'll get like a couple of months where you are fly infested, and don't get me wrong, it's probably one of the only things that made me want to turn around and go home. They literally swarm. They come on your face, through your ears. They don't come on your face, they sit on your face. I don't know, they might do. But yeah, it's disgusting. It is one of the worst parts about living in Australia is they have really dumb flies, and it doesn't matter how much you wave them away or how many you kill of them, they will just keep coming back. And that does last for a few months, and it's pretty freaking annoying. Now, when it comes down to snakes and spiders and all that good stuff, seen a couple of snakes since I've been here. No bother, sliver off. More scared of you than you are of them. Yep. And I seen one huntsman at work. It was my first day at work, actually, funny enough. I was going into the stock room and it just sort of crept around the side of the door. Not gonna lie, almost packed my bags that day as well. I'm not scared of spiders, but anything that's got hairier legs than me is definitely a no-no. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Hope you liked the video. If you have, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps push the video out there to more people and maybe help them on their journey of moving to Australia maybe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one, hopefully. Bye-bye.